Welcome back to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please rate us on all the podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, share wherever else you're listening, and enjoy the show. All right, welcome back to another show. We appreciate you coming back. As always, please rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. 5 stars preferable, but you can be like Benny and give us a 1-star rating and tell us we suck. We always appreciate you coming back for people that do. We also want to thank Adam Chubbuck with TechMD.com, Team Alpha Charlie with Douglas Realty in Pasadena, Maryland. If you're in the Maryland area and you're looking to buy or sell a home, I strongly encourage you to at least call Adam. Just listen to what he's got to say. He'll give you good advice whether you decide to go with him or not. But once you sit down with him, you'll see he's a really genuine individual. He's going to care about you and your transaction. And that's what I look for when I look for a real estate agent. I want someone who's going to treat my money like their money, who's going to look at it through my benefit to make sure that I'm making a good decision. So shoot Adam a call. Go to techmd.com. He's got a lot of ways to contact him. And do yourself a favor and just sit down and talk with him. Now, I peruse Twitter from time to time. And I saw a post from an account called Raw's Alerts, RAWSALERTS. By the way, I haven't verified any of this. This is not a factual podcast, so take this post with a grain of salt. But it says, breaking. Scientists and experts are raising the alarm and warning that the bird flu pandemic could be 100 times worse than COVID-19 and potentially result in fatalities in up to half of those infected, reported by the New York Post.
Look at the timing of that one.
For people that have listened to this show, I believe we, last year, said that wait until 2024. Mm-hmm. They're gonna come up with something that's gonna make sure that they can vote by mail again. And they're gonna say it's for the good of the people. We gotta keep people safe. Well, lo and behold,
Here we go. Yep.
And this news is right after. So Jimmy Dore tweeted out. He was retweeting another person who showed the emails from some individuals who were doing the Pentagon's work on SARS-CoV and how to transmit it into bats. And do you want to guess what year it's from?
2020?
Oh, no. 2018.
Oh, okay.
So they were doing this work on SARS-CoV. So there's no number on it because the virus didn't have a number at the time. Mm-hmm. Right? COVID-19 is
the year.
Yeah. So they were just doing work on a SARS virus, and it was a government Pentagon-funded project. And they were trying to, and I guess the email was talking about getting it into, how to get it into bats. Basically trying.
Why?
Because you got to find out how bats respond to this virus.
I hate these fucking people. I seriously do. Yeah. They're doing a whole bunch of shit. So all that gain of function stuff that they do, why? Why the fuck are you doing that?
Well, according to them, it didn't exist.
Right. Well,
there's no such thing as gain of function research.
Right. I am the science, and there's no such thing as gain of function.
Michael, it's absurd
right.
to think that we would do such a thing.
Like,
thank you, Dr. Fauci.
This is where our tax money goes, to fund these fucking clowns to do stupid shit like this. You know, like, stop doing it. I'm telling you as a taxpayer to the government, stop it. Like, I'm not voting for a single incumbent, not one incumbent. this time around.
If I'm being honest, do I think politicians even knew it was happening?
No.
I doubt it.
Yeah. It's the deep state. And it's you say deep state, and I was like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. First of all, the term conspiracy theorist was invented by the CIA to discredit people that were talking shit about what they were doing. So, like, I'm tired of it, man. Like, the put a virus into bats. Why would you do that? Like, you know when your kid does something stupid, you're like, why the fuck did you just do that? And here they are doing it.
It goes back to one of the earlier podcasts during COVID on Joe Rogan. Everyone's like, oh, Joe Rogan, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's not factual. Okay, but he had Brett Weinstein on.
Yeah.
And he said that the COVID virus, there was no way it jumped from animal to human in that short a period of time. Mm-hmm. He said it must have been engineered to do so.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, back in 2018, they were getting it into bats. Well, a couple years go by, and now it's ready to go to human.
Of all the animals, why use a bat? They can fly. Use a non-fast, non-flying animal.
I feel like there's some DNA comparisons between humans and bats, and that's why they do it. It's like humans and mice. There's some DNA. Pigs as well, I believe.
Yeah.
There's certain animals that share a certain amount of DNA, so they can inject it into the animal, and it's supposed to mimic what would happen in a human.
I know that before we were injecting shit into bats, there was none of this bullshit going around.
Yeah.
So,
or that we know. I mean, who's to say that some of these other viruses that were out there that weren't as lethal, maybe, or are as lethal, like Ebola. Mm-hmm. I mean, that shit made you bleed out your eyes and your ass. Is that the one? Ebola?
Yeah.
Yeah. They contain that to Africa. Want to know why? Because nobody cares about Africa.
Right.
Right? Notice how it miraculously didn't leave Africa.
Yeah, and then it did make it here, but it was contained relatively quickly.
It's amazing.
But it's not from any noble work that they were doing, experimenting with it.
Well, but okay, so full-blown conspiracy theorist now. Going to put my hat on. Mm-hmm. How many viruses and diseases have we seen in the world that were created by people that were supposed to not be doing it?
Right.
They literally made up this shit for science.
Probably like swine flu was probably one of them.
H1N1.
Bird flu.
Yeah.
And COVID and all this bullshit that they invented and then fucked up and then it got out.
I mean, who's to know they weren't fucking with the flu virus? Because, I mean, there's multiple variants of the flu virus. Mm-hmm. When you get a flu shot, you're only getting protected from 2 strands of the flu.
Yeah, they're trying to guess which one's going to be the big one.
Right. Why do you have to guess? I mean, did you create the variants?
Yep.
So, I'm not saying they did. I mean, but at this point, now that we know what we know, and I'm gonna go out on the limb here. I'm gonna say it's factual now that this was funded by the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. COVID was the latest COVID incident, because we now have emails that have shown that.
Yeah.
They're not made up. I mean, some names.
Aren't these people smart enough to not put the shit in a fucking email?
No, because you got to remember, email is fairly new communication.
Yeah.
And some of these
2018?
Yeah, but some of these people are fairly old. And they don't understand that it doesn't, when you hit delete, it doesn't really go away.
Right.
They don't understand that. I mean, it's like when I turn off my laptop, I don't think that the camera is working. But the government could turn that on too.
Yeah.
We know that because Edward Snowden told us it could do that.
Yeah.
On our phones. Phones listening right now.
Yep.
We're going to jail tomorrow. Because we're talking about it. I mean, if we get a knock on the door, because we know no one listens to the actual show, so they must be listening on the phone that's sitting right next to me on my left-hand side.
Yeah.
So if I get a call from some black suited people with some sunglasses on, looking like Will Smith and Men in Black, then we know what happened. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that our government is probably doing some things that may not be great. or may not need to be done.
Yeah. You ever hear the expression like, and this, or the idea that like, if you, like, everyone has an asshole in their life, but if you don't have an asshole in your life, you are the asshole in your life.
Yeah.
Like, we're like the evil empire. Like, there's no evil empires in the world. Mm-hmm. You're in it.
The world's so peaceful right now. Yeah. I don't see anything bad going on because we're doing. It's like Chris Rock said. Yeah, when you move in at 3 a.m, because if you move in during the day, people are going to be stealing your shit.
Yeah,
because you didn't see shit because you was doing shit.
Yeah.
Well, we don't see shit, so guess who's probably doing shit?
Yeah,
it's probably us.
Yeah.
But and the funny thing is that.
But how many people? All this stuff is done in the name of the American people, which is bullshit because it's not.
It's not.
How many people are supportive of this shit? Like, how many people are supportive of the war in Ukraine? The dipshit boomers that watch MSNBC are.
Which is funny because that used to be the anti-war party.
Right. But they're all like, let's send Mitch McConnell talking about sending more money to Ukraine. And his last freaking cogent thought in the Senate is that's what his legacy is going to be. $60 billion on this last omnibus spending bill these assholes are cramming through. Meanwhile, a dozen eggs cost $6. But let's send more money to Ukraine. Like, it's insane. It's mind-boggling. And when are people going to, like, the whole thing, like the woke stuff, like, that's all dumb. You guys need to be woke to this other shit that they're doing in your name.
Right.
Like, quit fighting about what bathroom transgender people use and look at the fucking actual shit these cocksuckers are doing.
Yeah. I mean, look.
It's a giant distraction. Like, look over here.
They got Arabs and Jews fighting, again, in this country. And now you got the Christians fighting Jews. Mm-hmm. Because some 23-year-old kid that got kicked off of YouTube thinks he knows his elbow from his asshole.
Yeah.
That Nick Fuentes kid.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you don't know who Nick Fuentes is, apparently he's like the savior for all Christian kind. Because he's saying Jews run everything. He's that guy. He's fucking Louis Farrakhan. Like, but he's like 21 from Canada. It's like, bros, if you haven't lived life yet,
right,
to know if. But he's like, well, when I said things about Jews and then they kicked me off of YouTube and they said if I apologized I could be back on YouTube. Okay, what the fuck did you say?
Right.
Oh, right. You people think you're a fucking white nationalist with a Mexican last name. Mm-hmm. Wonder why, dick. Like,
he's Kanye's boy.
But the weird thing is, though...
So there's the crazy schizophrenic rapper and this guy.
Even better. but the weird thing is people buy into... why are you buying into some 21-year-old's bullshit?
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't listen to a 21-year-old about damn near anything.
But he sprinkles in a little fact of truth. Yes, Jews started Hollywood. So yes, they have a lot of power in fucking Hollywood.
Right.
They have a lot of power in the music industry. Because they fucking built a lot of the music industry.
Yeah.
It's like, if I build a company, who do you think's going to fucking run it? Is you going to, hey, we're building a better life for ourselves over in this country. We're going to build up these companies. And then we're just going to give it away to people. No, you dumb fuck. And here's the other thing. If they own the media companies, here's the thing. Well, they own the media companies. They can control what they want. Yeah, and? Mm-hmm. It's like these people think that if you own this big-ass company, you need to be some altruistic son of a bitch. No, you own it. You can do what the fuck you want with it.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's how life works. Life is not fair. Life is not equitable. It never has been. It never will be. It's like at some point, and this country is by far one of the greatest examples of it. You can come from nothing and make yourself into a fucking billionaire. You want to know how I know? Because Jay-Z doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore.
Right.
Because him and his wife are two of the richest people on earth individually.
Yeah.
And combined, they're super fucking rich.
Yeah.
And you want to know what she's doing? She's bitch. Oh, people are racist because they don't like my country album.
I don't like any of her albums.
I'm sorry, but your country album? First of all, tell Darius Rucker that audience is racist because they accept him.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker. He went from fucking Hootie and the goddamn Blowfish to country star. Mm-hmm. Also black, by the way.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. You go out there looking like a caricature of a cowboy. Wearing, have you seen some of the outfits she's going out there in? She's always got a cowboy hat on.
I didn't even know she did a country album. That's how in touch I am with things. So,
but she's gonna scream racism.
Yeah.
You're a billionaire.
The last album I listened to,
yeah,
it was just queued up. Is Appetite for Destruction. That's where I am musically right now. Is Guns N' Roses. So,
and for people that want to yell at me, look, I think Eminem's last albums have for the last 10 years have been shit.
Yeah.
Outside of, lyrically, he's amazing. Yeah, but the music sucked.
Right.
I couldn't bang it in my car.
Yeah.
Want to know how I determine whether something's good? If it's the first couple of days of spring, I can finally roll the windows down, put the sunroof open. Am I going to bang your song on my radio or not?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then your shit sucks.
Yep.
Or unless I need it to make me cry or throw up.
Or am I listening to it on the way to a baseball field with my kid getting pumped up?
Damn right.
You know?
I'm sorry. People were rocking Beyonce songs because girls could turn it up in their car and rock the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. I could bump Jay-Z back in the day. I didn't bump the How long has it been since I bumped a Jay-Z song in my car?
Right.
Dude, I couldn't tell you when it was.
H to the Izzo was the last one I did.
Probably. I got girls.
Yeah.
I pumped that shit in my car too.
99 Problems.
Yes.
When it was good, when music was good.
Right. Well, music now, I mean, look, you're such an old man. Fuck you. Music had rhythm, told a story. Mm-hmm. This shit's fucking, it's all fucking hi-hat shit. And some guy go,
yeah. It's
get the fuck out of here. I don't understand. What are you fucking saying?
Mumble rap and trap beat. There's an Asian kid on YouTube that did, his thing was he would do a trap beat rap song to anything you said. Mm-hmm. So someone just said peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he did, and it sounded really good. It sounded just like all the new mumble rap trap beat stuff SoundCloud rappers sound.
There's this guy Harry Mack. He does that shit. Mm-hmm. He first of all, he's a fucking creeper. He's 40 years old with the gray hairs and the beard and the hair like me. He goes on. Have you ever heard of something called Omegle?
No.
Okay, Omegle's this thing. You go on. And I had to look this up, by the way. You go on it and you click chat now, and it just brings up a random person to chat with, and you can choose male or female. Mm-hmm. It's mostly tweens and teenage girls. Okay, or it's old dudes trying to get some fucking handies.
Well,
right?
Probably all the girls are 40, 50-year-old men, and all the men are.
Well, they show it's video chat, so you can see them.
Okay.
And it's usually the room's always really dark because their parents don't know they're supposed to be in bed and all this shit. It's fucking creepy. It's creepy as hell. And he goes, "Hey," and he's like, "No, don't hang up yet. Don't." So he got a guy convince him not to hang up because he's fucking 40 on this teenage chat. He goes, "I want you to name 3 things, and I'm going to put it in a rap song." And that's his shtick. He's literally just creating shit.
I was just going to say, P. Diddy's creating a lot of rap songs.
Look, man. I'm not trying to say guilty before proven innocent, but I'm pretty sure P. Diddy's going to some kind of pound me in the ass jail.
Okay.
Pound me out of federal prison.
My first thought was how did he buck the establishment? Because generally that's their play. That's the play they audible to.
P. Diddy hadn't said shit in 10, 15 years. And then Cat Williams came out on Club Shay Shay and fucking destroyed everybody.
But think of it. You have Julian Assange. Oh, he raped somebody. Donald Trump. Brett Kavanaugh. Russell Brand. They're a sex offender. Joe Rogan. They do all that. It's you're either a racist or a sex offender. That's their audible. They're at the line. They're oh, crap. They sniffed out our play. Omaha, sex offender. And then that's what they do. Like, that's their thing.
Someone thinks P. Diddy's got the goods on everybody, though. They think he's the guy with the information. Okay, they say this about everybody, though. Everyone the FBI goes to, this is it. It's all coming out.
Yeah.
The Kraken. They call it the Kraken. Like, you fucking QAnon bullshit motherfuckers. Everything's the Kraken and nothing ever fucking happens.
Yeah.
So, like, P. Diddy fled the country. P. Diddy's in Miami right now. He's literally... They showed him riding a bike with no hands. Just loving life.
Yeah.
Someone's like, that's P. Diddy's last bicycle ride before he goes into federal prison. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'll believe P. Diddy's going to jail when he actually ends up in jail.
Yeah.
Like, that dude, he's not Hood Diddy anymore. He's billionaire Diddy.
Yeah.
Billionaires don't see jail.
Right.
They might have gone in and got some papers that might put some other billionaires in jail because he was holding on to it for safekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't going to jail.
Yeah.
No, because I'm sure he's got backups on all those documents somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? This whole, like, everything's just crazier and crazier and dumber and dumber. That society peaked in the 90s. We're at a decline.
Listen, that ship crashed in Baltimore, right up the street from it. That was on purpose, apparently, according to everybody.
So there was. Do you remember the Barry Wood memes that were going around?
No, which ones were they?
So it was the dude that had there was the bald black guy that had who was very well endowed, and if you clicked on it, like, it was a picture.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
So of course one came out. And it said, ISIS claims responsibility for... And I'm like, oh, really? And I should have known it because it said San Francisco Chronicle. That's the link. And I click on it, and it's my boy. So it's like, that brings me back to the pandemic. Because that's when they were all coming out. And
it's literally this decade's major look.
Right. But then Jimmy Dore, like, the very next day was talking about possible links to terrorism. And then apparently there was a whistleblower for... So that ship was... It wasn't Maersk owned, but it was Maersk leased or something like that.
We're talking about the Baltimore one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Singapore one.
Yeah. And there was someone who was from that shipping line that was blowing, like, a whistleblower saying they're not doing inspections, they're not doing that, and they fired him. It's like, sounds familiar. Sounds like Boeing. Like, and the guy that shot himself for Boeing. But
all these whistleblowers, man, they're always suicidal.
It must be, yeah. I'm not trying to kill myself, by the way.
Yeah, me either. No one. Nobody come to the basement, please.
Yeah.
No, so even this one comedian, I think his name's JP. JP Awakens or something like that. He's on YouTube. And, like, even he was doing, like, something about how the boat wasn't, the boat was a conspiracy. You know, boats don't just run into shit, doesn't run into bridges.
Yeah.
Of course it doesn't. But anyone who saw the video, now don't get me wrong, I did misinterpret the video because I thought there was a fire on board. Mm-hmm. The fire I saw apparently was the black smoke coming out of the smokestack from the engines going full bore.
Yeah.
It's like the whole someone's got a diesel truck and they do the coal rolling thing when you just gun the engine and the black smoke comes out the top. Apparently that's what was going on.
So it definitely had two power failures because you can see the lights go off. Someone on the ship, the pilot, the harbor pilot, when they called 911, and Maryland Transportation Authority they're the, like, if you ever see, like, the bridge cops, like the different bridges and tunnels, they closed it down at both ends. Mm-hmm. So the only people that were on it was a construction crew. And that's how it happened. The guy called 911 on his cell phone, and they connected him to it and said, hey, we're going to hit this bridge, and they shut it down. So that was good. Now, when you have so in that channel, you've got, it's the Patapsco River. Then there's another channel that goes off, and what it does is when you have a river or any body of water, the pressure, when the ship displaces water, that presses against the banks of the river and then comes and pushes the ship back towards the middle, right, of the channel. Well, right where the ship lost power is where is the confluence of another creek or river, another channel comes into it. So when you get to that point, you lose that pressure pushing you back, and you actually get pulled towards that opening, which pulled them in line with the bridge. So when it lost power at the absolute wrong place to do it. Like, it couldn't have happened at a worse place. And that's where the whole kind of chain of events, like, that really kind of sealed the deal. That's how it got so far over into the channel. The thing is, once you get out of the shipping channel, the water's like the water is like 12 feet deep. Like, it would have run aground if it had gotten much further out. It happened in the wrong spot, and and the other neat thing is, like, that ship drafts 48 feet, and that the shipping channel at that point's 50 feet deep. So, like, you're talking 2 feet between the keel and the bottom. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room there for anything to go wrong. So
yeah. Well, everyone's like, oh, the power went out. It was a cyber attack. Well, I mean, they got the power back on.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they got the power back on twice. It went out, they got it back on, and then it went out again.
It went back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by that point,
it's too late.
That's something a lot of people's only experience with moving vehicles are cars. So you step on the brakes in the car stops. If you don't have brakes, the car is small and it slows down. But those ships are coming with they're bringing so much energy into the equation. If they took all the intermodal containers off that ship and put them on a train, the train would be 13 miles long. Like, that's a lot of the ship itself is 950 feet long.
Yeah.
So, it's 3 football fields long. We're talking about a very large object here, very heavy object.
Well, the funny thing, the videos, though, that you see, it makes the bridge and the ship look tiny.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then someone else said, look, they were filming it at that right point. Well, that's just a surveillance camera.
The camera that's always fucking on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's probably an MTA fucking camera.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure it was.
But then our president gets on there and says, I've ridden a train across that many times. Just the trains that cross that thing?
Not one train has gone over that key bridge. Never. And keep in mind, how do we know this? Because you and I have both driven over that bridge. We live within 30 minutes of that bridge.
Yeah, that bridge is actually 12 miles from here, straight line distance.
Yes. Yep.
And I bet that if one of us was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, we probably would have heard it.
Probably.
Because that sound just rolls right down the bay. Like, you can hear stuff going on at Aberdeen Proving Ground. If it's early in the morning, they'll put, like, hey, we're testing this or testing that. And you can hear it. It just rolls right down the bay. There's nothing to stop the sound from moving.
We hear the assholes hunting on the river.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how open that is.
You can hear the foghorn from the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
I
think it's fun. So when you're in not that we're in the right wing sphere, but we probably read and see more than people in the left wing sphere. And this is where the right wing people kind of like just lose me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's a fucking conspiracy. Everything has a special second meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way the ship would just run into the bridge. Ships go under that all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And sometimes someone fucks up.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be one time in 100.
Mm-hmm.
100 year. Whatever. That bridge was built in 77, I think.
Yeah.
Somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize these shipping companies, because they're not flagged in the United States.
Right.
They're not. The ships have to be. They have to conform to some U.S. specs to a certain extent, so they can dock in the U.S.
Right, but they don't.
But there's a lot of leeway.
Yeah, there's this thing called the Jones Act, and I think we talked about it on the show a long time ago, like stupid laws.
Was it the one where was it the first show when our first show was about the Suez Canal ship?
Yeah, I know. Wow, that was almost 3 years ago.
Actually, today's April 4th. We released our first episode on April 4th of 2021.
Wow.
I'm just now realizing that.
And we're talking about another ship.
Another damn ship.
See? But the thing is, like, that Jones Act, makes it so that. Did you try that yet? By the way,
I'm. This is the first sip.
I'll not say anything. I'll let you.
All right. Here, let me free reign.
Yeah.
Clear mind. No.
No. It tastes like Hoppy's number 9. It tastes like crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am so disappointed right now.
I thought this stuff was supposed to be good.
It gets great reviews. I haven't heard anyone say a bad thing about this.
Well, it tastes like Hoppy's number 9 bore solvent. So, not that I know what that tastes like, but it smells like it.
I'm gonna wait to give it a second sip before we haven't said what it is, have we?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a second sip.
No.
In a minute.
But
I'm so disappointed right now.
Yeah. But yeah, that Jones Act goes and essentially it makes it so that the ship has to be flagged with American crews and all this other stuff in order to operate, in order to start and end at an American port. Like that's how it.
But most of these don't start and end here.
No.
They start in China. They end up here.
Right. Now this one was full of American goods going somewhere else, or stuff that ended up on the ship. Who knows where
it was going to, but it came here with shit from somewhere else.
Yeah.
By the way, shipping logistics would blow my mind.
Yeah.
Like, think about it this way. Let's say you've got a ship that's going to go to 5 ports.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stack it in a way at the first port, so when everything gets put on, when it goes to the next port, all those containers are on the top, right? Because that way they can be taken off really easily. Okay. Well, now you're also picking up containers at the second port. So now you've got to figure out where to put these new containers. So if they're not, let's say these containers aren't getting off until the last stop, do you have to take all the other containers off to put these on the bottom?
I don't know how it works. But you also have to consider like your heaviest ones you want towards the center of gravity and
right.
So low and towards the middle of the ship. Like, I don't know how they do it.
I wonder if like order of coming off even matters or if it's all weight.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's wild.
And then those ships will hit like bad weather and those containers just fall off. And they'll become like these neutrally buoyant like hazards like floating just below the surface. So
I wonder if there's companies that like go after those containers because there's probably millions of dollars of goods in them.
I don't know.
I wonder if they go get those millions of dollars of goods.
There's people in Los Angeles that just break into the trains and steal everything off of them.
That's true. Yeah, it's easier when it's dry.
Yeah, there's people that do it they're called pirates, but not cool pirates with like parrots and a sword and an eye patch. So yeah, that.
Do you think it was conspiracy or no?
No,
I don't think so either. I think this is, from what I know about ships, and I know a little bit because of my job.
Here's another thing. Why? Okay, are you trying to kill people?
Well, no, it wasn't going to do that.
You'd have to. So imagine that if the ship hit that bridge at 3 p.m. as opposed to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, why are you going to make a phone call saying that we're about to hit the bridge?
Well, so unless the pilot was going to be in on it.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, ships have captains who command the ship in the open sea.
Mm-hmm.
Once they enter the port of call, something called a pilot gets ferried out to the ship.
Yeah.
And it's a little fast boat. Goes out there. It's got the little bumpers on each side. And essentially it runs up next to the big-ass container ship, slams itself into it. They tack onto it so they stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they maintain speed. Although not all of them actually attach to it. They just maintain speed enough. A ladder is dropped off the side of this huge-ass ship. And generally this guy in his 40s or 50s
climbs the ladder.
Like
a Jacob's ladder, like a rope ladder.
Yes. And then he becomes essentially the captain of the ship. Now, whether he's actually at the helm or not, I don't know. But basically, he's the guide
He's
to
the
get
guy,
you through
He's
the
the
channel.
guy that has the local knowledge. Right. And here, it's the Chesapeake Bay harbor pilots. So they actually get on these ships way down at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel and ride it all the way up and they'll actually take it all the way up through the C&D Canal into Delaware. Now, most ships aren't using that route anymore because they're way too big for it, but they can. So, but yeah, they pick them up in.
Well, the biggest ships can't go under the Bay Bridge anyway.
Yeah.
Over by where we're at in Annapolis, there's a bridge called the Bay Bridge. Basically, from the mouth of the Chesapeake down by Norfolk, if you keep coming up the Chesapeake, you run into the Bay Bridge.
It's 250 feet above surface at slack tide or something, or high tide. I forget how they measure it, but
so basically, the newest cruise ships and the newest container ships can't come under.
Yeah.
So you get like 10-year-old cruise ships that come through, and the same in the older container ships. Now the container ships, though, a lot of them contain cars, because Baltimore is actually the biggest car port in America, which is shocking.
Yeah.
But it basically anyone that imports cars to the U.S. That needs them from anywhere from the east of the Mississippi, they generally will get them out of Baltimore.
Yeah, even American cars get loaded. So if it's made in Windsor, Ontario, they'll get loaded onto they call it a roll on, roll off ship there, and it's a domestic car, but its port of entry is Baltimore.
Right. And
you'll see like a whole bunch of Dodge Rams and Jeeps and all kinds of stuff sitting down there. Volkswagen has a big presence. Mercedes-Benz is there. Like it's a big. Baltimore was real smart back in the, let's say, 60s. They containerized. So they changed the port from using like longshoremen to have to go on the ship and unload them to intermodal. So Philadelphia did not. Bayonne, New Jersey did. Jacksonville, Florida did. A bunch, but they changed the shipping method to intermodal containers, and that's how they, Baltimore's port's very busy.
Yeah. This accident isn't going to, it's not going to disrupt shipping for that long. They've already, I believe they've already opened a channel.
Yeah, so they have like priorities of how they're going to do it. And there's some considerations, like a big part of the structure of that bridge is resting on the ship, and they're not sure the damage done to the ship. They're not sure, like, then they want to lift it up, but the crane that has the biggest capacity they can get to it can't lift those pieces off, so they have to cut those pieces of the bridge, and then there's a bunch of wreckage that's down still at the bottom, but it's not safe to go to because the ship is still floating, so the bridge is still moving, and it's all mud down there. The bottom of the channel there, pretty much everything on the bay it's just mud. So stuff can get pressed into the mud, and it's a freaking disaster.
Yeah,
So,
but I got a feeling within a month they'll have ships in and out of the port of Baltimore.
Yeah.
We won't have a bridge for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But they'll have.
It's a bridge to Dundalk, so I mean, what do you go there for?
I mean, and there are ways around it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily. I mean, they got the two tunnels. Mm-hmm. And if you go 95 or 895,
yeah,
you can get off just north of Baltimore and take the 695 down to Essex.
Yeah.
You're not really that inconvenienced cars wise. The shipping lane is the biggest thing, and they'll probably have that. I think they'll have it cleared in about a month and a half. Mm-hmm. Probably a month, but a month and a half safely. That's why I just don't think if you were going to create an issue, I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do a cyber attack, you're just going to pick some random ship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But and when I was talking about like the right wing and left wing groups, I mean the right wing groups though, like I feel like you lose people when you just get stupid with it. It's like, oh hey, I was with you with I was with you with the COVID stuff and all the conspiracies. Then they ended up being true. You got right on.
Right.
But now you're going to go this way. It's like not everything. It's a little exhausting. It's like not everything's a fucking conspiracy.
Right. Sometimes just dumb, bad shit happens.
I mean, think about it this way. Someone like me is probably captaining a ship.
Yeah.
With some more experience, right?
Right.
But they were probably checking their fantasy soccer team, their fantasy hocky team.
Looking at porn.
Looking at some titties. You know what I'm saying? Just didn't get, the wife didn't take them.
I mean, they're on a ship for months.
Yeah, or
dogs got to eat.
Maybe didn't get that shore pass or something. I don't know. Didn't get to the whorehouse down in Baltimore. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, not everyone is excellent at their job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Someone graduated at the bottom of the class, but they still graduated.
Yeah.
They still got the job.
Yeah. It's the sea captain.
Yeah.
Not SEA, but C.
Yeah. Not everybody can be Sully. You know what I'm saying?
C's get degrees. That's the guy.
Look, I joke with my wife all the time. She's got 2 bachelor's and a master's degree. I got a bachelor's degree that I barely got.
Right.
Guess which one makes more money?
Right. Yeah.
And it ain't because of the gender pay gap.
Yeah.
It's because I ended up backing into a really comfortable job.
Yeah. Yeah, my solid 2.89 GPA from York College. Like,
listen, put some respect on that 2.89. put some respect on it. I got my diploma.
Yeah.
The college might not like it, but I certainly do.
Hey, C's get degrees. The check clear. They don't give a shit.
That's very true.
They don't care whether you graduate or not.
They don't exactly announce that I'm an alumni, but
they're not bragging about us.
No, we're not the ones they're putting on the cover of the alumni magazine to get my donation.
Right.
But they sure don't turn away the donation when it gets sent.
I'm not donating shit to
I haven't. So. Look, I organized a group of guys to donate some money way back in the day, like 10 years ago. And so I get all the mails, and because I was the point person on it.
Yeah.
We did it for like 5 years. So, and because it was my name on it, I get all the, hey, we should come out for dinner and do all this other stuff. And like my wife and I, we got invited out to like this swanky club in DC one time with some other alumni. We got all dressed up for it. We both got in there. I looked at her. I was like, I didn't go to school with these people.
Yeah.
Like I think I was probably in my early to mid 30s at the time. And I'm like, all these people, they graduated probably 10, 15 years before me, except for like 3 other people.
Yeah.
Who were probably like super successful on Wall Street because that's where half the finance bros went for my school. And so my wife's like, shut up and just enjoy it. She goes, it's good food and swanky. We're never getting invited to this again. Just enjoy it.
Right.
I was like, all right. I was like, but I can't pretend I'm not. Like, I was going to pretend like I was some fancy person. Like, these people will probably find out because they're fancy.
No, I'm faking.
Right. Then, no, it's not real. They never heard me. But yeah, no, I barely graduated. I remember that. And I don't care.
Yeah.
Which is why, kids, you shouldn't pay a lot for your degree.
Right.
Because after you get it, no one gives 2 shits.
No. Except
for the person who hires you.
Right.
They just care that you got one.
And then the first real job you get, no one cares about it's just like high school. Once you go to college, no one cares about high school anymore.
Half the people out there getting masters now are getting it from fucking Walden University.
Yeah.
Or the University of Phoenix Online. Get the fuck out. Don't tell me where the degree came from matters. Other than like a few universities who hire their own.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still impressive if you got someone from Penn Wharton or Harvard Business School or Harvard Law School, whatever it is. It sounds impressive, right? Mm-hmm. But if that guy from Harvard Law School ain't a dog in court, I don't want him as my lawyer.
Right. I want the dude that's going to scrap.
I want the guy that went to like fucking Tampa Bay Law School,
right?
But knows how to fuck everybody over.
Yeah. I want the doctor that went to the Dominican School of Medicine.
That's right. Paid $5 for his fucking degree, but can do brain surgery with his eyes closed.
Dr. Nick.
We all know that guy that went to college, got straight fucking A's, and barely studied a lick just because he was some kind of idiot savant.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy I want. Like, the problem is, though, I never know how to, like, express that to someone. Like, hey, did you go to some no-name school, barely graduate, but really knew their shit? Because most of them are like, no, I graduated top of my class. Nah, I don't want you.
Yeah.
I want the guy who just knows shit. I want the guy who goes to medical school knowing how to do brain surgery. Got the degree to legitimize himself.
Just to legitimize his medical practice that he started. So, this beverage here. What?
Oh, man.
So let's say...
I'm so fucking disappointed.
It's Gentleman Jack.
It's Gentleman Jack.
So we kind of made a departure these last 2 episodes and not drinking bourbon whiskey, but drinking whiskey, and the two of them I'm not impressed. There's flavors in this that I don't like.
So, and oddly enough, I think you're right, this is the first one that doesn't say bourbon whiskey. It just says Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah. Okay, it's Jack Daniels.
Yes. But this is $35. It says it's double mellowed. Like, it's got all the buzzwords on this shit.
It's double not good.
Taking off my old man glasses so I can actually read the label. I've gotten to that point in my life, by the way. 40% alcohol by volume. So that is 80 proof.
Uh-huh.
I make a bold statement. This is one of the worst 80 proofs I've ever fucking tasted.
I don't like it. I didn't like the stuff from last week. I don't like this stuff either.
I referenced the Bourbon Junkies a lot on the show. I referenced them last show. This is the reason why I bought this bottle. Because they said it was smooth and mellow.
Yeah, it's smooth and mellow, but it tastes like crap.
It doesn't taste good.
You know, Coca-Cola is smooth and mellow.
Like,
and you know what? That stuff's probably good mixed with a Coke. Like, that's what I'd do with that.
Well,
and I don't even drink Jack and Coke, but...
I keep comparing these bottles to the Four Roses.
Uh-huh.
But we have other bottles on this table.
Yeah.
We have the Proper 12 from last week, which was god-awful.
Yep.
The Ezra Brooks 99, which wasn't bad. The Four Roses bourbon. The regular bottle, not the expensive one.
Yep.
Not bad for $20-25. The Buffalo Trace was $35. That's better than this Gentleman Jack at the same price. The Uncle Nearest 1884.
Yep.
I put that better than this. The Wild Turkey 101, I put that better than this.
Everything on the table, aside from that Proper 12, is better than this.
Yes. Like, I am shocked.
The Flat Ginger Ale is better than this.
So. I'm going to give it the last taste just to see. I mean, look, maybe... you've got it neat, I've got it on ice.
I just drank it like a shot to get rid of it. So...
I don't know... With the Proper 12, I couldn't label what that lingering taste was.
This kind of has it too.
Maybe
it's a whiskey thing. Maybe the bourbon gets rid of that.
Is this the chemically taste people talk about? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just terrible.
I don't get it.
I don't get the draw. Now, I'm going to cleanse my palate, and I have very little left. You should try it. And there's very little left in this because I drank it all.
So how much is it?
This one?
Yeah.
I think it was $33.
All right.
So it's...
We may have to get another bottle.
I'm going to get another bottle.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay. By the way, when did you get that?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But see, I don't have a collection like you do. I get one and I drink all of it. So...
But you bring one. You bring a new one every time. So I'm thinking the collection is pretty heavy.
No, because I drink all of it. So... it's weird, though. Was it 2? No, so, yeah. No, this one I bought last week. I'm sorry, this is only a week old. 2 weeks ago, I bought Maker's Mark. And I used, like, Makers and Gingers, like my jam at a bar. And so I said, let me do some Maker's neat, because I've never really done it. And I wasn't all that impressed. It's better than this. This
is not
either.
Good. This is not good.
But this is... I mean, I love this stuff. It's there's a little.
That's all right. I'll wait till next time.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I've been having some weird health things going on.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's the liver. I got a fatty liver.
Okay.
Which apparently causes some issues. We'll get into that.
Doesn't help.
No, it does not. No, not at all. I'm going to find out tonight, though, how bad that is. I don't know how bad it is. That's the thing I don't know. But
so
anyway,
good.
We'll get into that another day. I think I don't want to do another top 5, but we have some pretty good candidates on this table in the under 30 range.
Yeah.
The under 35 or 40.
Probably go under 40. I think that's kind of your economy range of without being, El Cheapo brand.
Well, I think we got some good contenders.
Right.
That I think we have at least 4.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5th that we could probably put in.
If you had tried this is better than the Buffalo Trace.
And I think that comes a little bit of palate because you like more spice. Mm-hmm. I like more mellow.
See, I like spice with some sweetness.
I do like the sweetness. Yeah.
This is 101 proof too. So, but it doesn't have that. Like I said, I like the burn on the front end. I don't like it on the back end, and it has that nice front end burn, but it does not burn. I don't want to feel it going down.
Right.
This you don't feel going down. So, yeah, man, this is just I love it. So it's called. I don't even say what it was called. It's called Old Bardstown. It's from Willett Distillery, so it's estate bottled Kentucky straight bourbon. I think it's a sour mash. Yeah. So 101 proof. Like,
if you like that, I wonder if you would like Dickel.
Yeah, probably.
I might have to go get it. I saw the Dickel in the store.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as cheap as I thought it was going to be. That's why I didn't pick it up. Mm-hmm. I thought Dickel was like a budget brand, but another one I want to get is Early Times. I've heard that's a good one too. So yeah, there's some more in this low range that I think we should try first before we do a blind.
Yeah.
But maybe next couple months we'll look at that.
We should maybe bring Krishan back and Krishan and Jared and everyone bring their nomination. Say, okay, best one under 40, go.
Right.
And bring your... Because we've expanded our palette that I could pick something good. This might be it. But...
And then, do you get extra points for the cheaper it is?
I think you should.
I think so, too. Fighting
Cock for the win.
I don't know. That Wild Turkey 101 for $20 is tough to beat.
Yeah.
Even the Four Roses. I know what would happen with the Four Roses, though. The Four Roses is probably too weak for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be to my palate. I would pick for your palate.
Yeah.
Because I know mine wouldn't win.
Well, that's the cool thing about this. There's so much out there that you can find something that really, really fits the bill for you, and that you enjoy that other people might not like.
Well, so that's why I find it funny when people go on those forums and like, well, what would you pick? Now that we've done this for what, 2 years, roughly, with the bourbon whiskey, year and a half.
It's been a year.
Okay. Only?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thought we'd been doing it a little longer than that. Anyway, I think I don't know if I'd be able to give a good recommendation to somebody, just because I know everyone's going to have their own palate. And I guess my recommendation would just be don't spend too much money.
Mm-hmm.
And try a bunch of different ones under $30.
Yeah.
Find out what your palate is.
Yeah. Because
you could easily get Four Roses, Wild Turkey 101, that Bardstown, the Ezra Brooks 99, Uncle Nearest, I think might be close to 50, and then the Buffalo Trace is 35.
Yeah.
So you're under $40. I think if you had to stay under 30, you probably could. And I think you'd be just fine.
Oh yeah.
And in all different palates, you'll find bland and smooth, and you'll find hot and sweet,
Yeah.
and something in between.
Yep.
Now, again, that might change in the future because I'm sure at some point we might try something a little bit more expensive. And for all that being said, when we did the blind, the most expensive one came out on top. So maybe we're full of shit. Mm-hmm. So. But anyway, we appreciate you listening. Let us know if you think the ship running into the Key Bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, was it nefarious or just an accident? Let us know in the comments. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I want to thank Adam Chubbuck with TechMD.com. If you need a real estate agent in this market, and I highly suggest that you do, if you are in the market, head over to TechMD.com and at least just go and sit down and talk with Adam. He will not steer you wrong. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.